Welcome, friends, to a new episode of Mind Speaks, Soul Listens. The views and opinions expressed by the speakers in this recording are solely based on their own individual perspectives and experiences. They form only part of the truth, and we strongly encourage listeners to form their own conclusion based on their own living experience.
Do you have more questions on this?
I think this was a great explanation, very helpful, and so it could be the place I was describing was actually at work and in my office. After the clients leave, I always sit in that same spot. So it could be that because I'm sitting in that same spot, that has been reserved for the meditation. And it could be
and
anywhere.
do service of love, right? All days. That's why.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I do have another question, and that is, and I don't know if it's for a lot of people on this path, or just what the reason is. But for myself, I've always been really sensitive to smells, to sound, to people's energies. It just seems like I'm aware of those things more than other people are. And I'm just wondering if I was thinking maybe it has something to do with, we come from this perfect home and we are thrown into this lower creation where nothing seems perfect, that we have developed those sensitivities. Maybe you can explain what that could mean.
Yeah, Takin, you can explain about this?
I don't agree with the fact that it's because we came from our true home. Because I think in that region of true home, yes, everything is perfect, but it's a different kind of perfection. It's not judgmental perfection like humans perceive perfection to be. So I think your sensitivity to, don't get me wrong, I'm also kind of the same, where I think it was just this afternoon when I entered a mall. I entered a shop, and it was very crowded. And then when I was browsing through, I felt that I was going to faint, right? Very lightheaded. I'm like, what's happening here? So I immediately get out of it, and I realized the energy in that shop was like, people were like, I don't know, they were kind of like throwing a lot of energy, and it was disrupting my balance. So I guess sensitivity in a person maybe is in line with your being, your energetic being, that you maybe are more refined than the normal mere mortals that we see on the streets, right? You're kind of like more sensitive to it. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have stopped or reduced your intake of sugar, right, in your diet. And then the next minute somebody pours you like a small amount of sugar. And then you immediately can taste that sugar and say, did you just pour in sugar into this tea? I can taste it, right? Whereas for a normal person, that sugar might not be enough. He might, instead of putting like some specks of sugar, put in like 4 teaspoons, and that to him, now this is sweet. What are you saying sweet? That's just like, a handful of sugar. This is sweet for. So I think sensitivity is in line with how your energy being is being elevated in that sense. You're more heightened, therefore you're more sensitive. So yeah, I think it's part to do with maybe your spiritual evolution inside. So maybe there's a correlation there.
Yeah. And there's a funny event in Singapore that I and Takin experienced at that time. There's a guy show up to our place, right? And he have this machine. He said this machine can measure aura. And he said, okay, with 1 feet of aura, 1 foot of aura. This machine will turn one time.
Mm.
Okay.
It's like a dowsing rod.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he said, normally, normal people, if they are a meditator, okay, their aura will extend to around 7 to 9 feet. Okay. So this is their energetic body, right? So they measure everybody in a room, and this guy turned around and look at me like, okay, you're next, right? And then I just sit, I just like standing there getting nervous, right? Okay, what if this machine didn't turn at all? So it means I have no aura, right? But this machine, right, he started to put right next to me, and it starts spinning like crazy. He said, oh my god, this machine already spent 300 more time, so your aura is like a whole football field. He said to me. And he said, how it's even possible for you to live in this human life? He said, let's say if you go to a mall, don't you feel everybody in the mall? You will be very sensitive. I said, no. I said, well, I have my master. I say, master, please protect me. So at that time, when I go outside, I put a master protection on, right? Then my aura is like maybe 1 or 2 feet away from me. So I'm safe, So maybe you have to learn this technique. Normally, yes, sitting at home in my comfort zone like this, I believe that my aura, like that guy measured for me, will be like a football field or a city, right? But then when I go outside, I put this protection cover on me called Master Grace. Okay? The deal with my master, that he will protect me from all harms, right? So yeah, so I try to do it that way, so I don't feel too overwhelming going outside and face with people with all kind of smell and energy, right? So
Yes.
how was your aura, Takin?
I think mine wasn't like 300. Mine, I think, was like maybe 15 feet. Because I think
Good
it
enough.
spins like 15 times, I think. So yeah. But it's amazing technology. I didn't know even existed. And for once, because I'm a skeptic myself, so I actually observed that machine. Actually, it's like a dowsing rod. It's like an L-shaped rod where you put it in, and there's no way for you to actually literally spin it using your hands, because it's practically impossible for you to actually spin it, and for it to like spin around like so fast. I think it's highly impossible. There's no batteries, no mechanics involved. It's just basically just a rod that spins. So it was quite mind-blowing for me to see it. Yeah, but back to your smells, right? Because I just remembered that you mentioned smells. So I mean, okay, regardless of your aura, right? Regardless of aura, if somebody smokes, right, that smell is a turn off to almost everyone, irregardless across the board, unless you're a smoker yourself. So I'm saying that sometimes it's very it's a practical thing, because if it's a very physical action like smoking, or somebody putting like very strong perfume, you actually smell it, very sensitive. But I think some people are desensitized to that smell because of a physical impairment. So for example, they do not, I don't know, for whatever reason, their sense of smell is degraded, right? So they are not attuned to that. So maybe, yeah, there's a lot of facets to this sensitivity. But if you're talking about like what Nay mentioned about auras and energies, this is beyond human sensory receptors. This is like when you enter a room and you feel everyone's very cold and negative.
Yeah.
No human senses can detect that. It's more like your ethereal bodies that are actually taking in all this energetic resonance from all these beings, right? And you just say, man, the room feels so cold, right? So yeah,
that makes sense. I feel that in spaces and places, even like driving, in the car, I avoid certain areas of town because I feel the energy. It's both, it's physically and energetically. But I think what Nay said about the master asking him to protect that, put the protection over, I'm going to try that starting today. And it will be helpful.
It's always work for me.
Yeah, it works. So you can do a 2-in-1, Stephanie. You can try that cloak, and you can even project master, beside you as a bodyguard, right? So you just do a 2-in-1, right?
That's what I will need.
Contemplation and bodyguard.
It's away all bad guys.
Yeah, you can imagine him with Neo sunglasses and stuff.
Yes, and I think that leads to maybe another question or two. Perhaps one is about aliens. We've had all these things show up in the United States or somewhere in the world, those objects, and then also we've had all these earthquakes happening, and I'm just wondering about collective and personal karma when you experience that in your physical body. So two questions in one: the collective karma when things happen to people somewhere else in the world, and you might suffer with them physically in a milder version, and also what's up with all these alien things showing up, or these unidentified objects. Are the aliens trying to save us from ourselves, or are those enlightened beings?
Go on, Tarkin. You first.
So question number 1, what makes you think you are not an alien yourself? Food for thought, right?
Yes, that makes sense. I've never felt like I really fit into this earth plane.
You're probably an alien, disguising yourself as humans. That's number 1. Because I see majority of the mess that we have in this world. This maybe are not human beings. These are, I don't know, alien beings, or even like I don't know. They are just masking themselves, as human beings, so that we can talk to each other. But I don't know. I feel this alien subject has been going on for quite some time, since since World War II, or since Roswell, famous incidents like this. But I feel, to me, right, if a highly intelligent extraterrestrial civilization, right, were to look at us, and they see us as a threat, they see human species as a threat, I find it hard to believe. I think we are a threat to ourselves rather than the aliens are a threat to us. Why would the aliens see us as a threat, for example, where we are just, sometimes very primitive in nature? We plunder the world of its resources. We, put up gases in the air. We destroy a lot of things, right? So coming from a point of view of a highly intelligent civilization, right, I would practically just laugh at us. I'm like, guys, come on, let me help you out, let me throw you a bone or something. If I'm an alien, this is what I'll do, right? Yeah, stop trying to shoot us, man. It doesn't work. Yeah, so
Yeah, but I have many direct experience with aliens, and I feel that they all kind, they all helping us from outside because they have the law from non-interference, right? So they are like parents, our parents, because they also humanoid, but they're older than us. So there's a theory where they plant themselves here on this planet through the process called seeding. So from time to time, they come back and check on us, right? They feel like, they're still hunting and gathering. Okay, it's fine. Leave them alone, right? So, they're still fighting one another. They're still talking about World War III. Okay, leave them alone. It's not time yet to reveal that they are also helping us from outside. So they're like the adult, look at this human being on this planet, like, what are these children do? We create this wonderful playground, but yet they just destroy it. You know, they're not sustaining it, they destroy it, right? I believe that our galactic brother and sister have all kind of technology to revise our environment, to revise a lot of things, give a better education, better transportation, better free energy, you know, better everything. But yet, because human, we so selfish, we have a lot of greed, anger, you know, so we still, uh, according to them, being barbaric at the barbaric state, so they cannot fully be in connection with us because they cannot trust us. Anything appear on our sky, right?
Shoot.
Without any information, they shoot down first. You know, shoot first, ask later, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel why the aliens even care about us, right? Is I think for this fact that yes, we have a very dense body. Therefore we are not blue in nature or whatever Hollywood alien manifestation that you see, or green, right? Or have like 4 fingers. We are what we are. The human race is because we somehow can survive on this planet with our body and organs, right? But the thing is, we managed to create a world where we have 50% suffering and 50% happiness, and this is very conducive to this thing called, and with our element of free will, called seeking, right? Because when we suffer, we seek something higher, or when we are bored, we seek something higher, right? So with this great recipe, right, it gives a opportunity for an enlightened force to actually enter our domain, right, or humankind, and to actually bring us home, for lack of a better word. I mean, it might sound like, oh yeah, so it's like, so what, aliens being, but put yourself or imagine yourself in a very highly intelligent civilization where you can manifest everything with thought. For example, even without even moving a muscle, you can actually conjure, the skies, or even, I don't know, move objects, right? There would not be any reason for you to actually suffer. Everybody is living in happiness and harmony. So why is there a need to escape this reality? So I believe the aliens are here for maybe to sow affinity with human beings, so that you have the opportunity to actually escape subconsciously,
or receive darshan,
yeah,
from master, from all the holy visitors,
yeah,
on this planet.
Yeah, but
Because
then again,
visit their planet.
yeah, then again, caveat for this whole thing: I've not seen an alien physically with my eyes before, so it has not entered my experience yet. So whatever I'm saying, you can take it with a pinch of salt. Could be my imagination, I could be blabbering, but then again, the one that I see and the one that's real is a perfect living master, and that's about it. All this is all secondary information, unless an alien manifests in front of me right now, then I can
But I
safely
think they
say,
don't do that, right? Because they operate in different vibration than us. Then for us, they consider as air or light, right? So we're not
That's right.
gonna see a being start to walk among us and have a blue skin or green skin,
Right.
on them and look different. I don't think so.
Right. There are too many things to contemplate on in my life right now. so I find it's really hard to keep the master in my contemplation 24/7. What more of me, like, thinking about aliens out there? If they exist, they exist. If they don't, they don't, right? To me, it's it's a good to know, but if they want to come out and make connection, they would come out in my reality, and I only trust whatever that's in my vision, my reality. Whatever that's not is just a maybe for now, because I only trust my own experience. I mean, this is a It's a
Let's say,
guideline.
Taki, if tomorrow leader of the alien appear to you and contact you, then what do you think is the next step? What are they doing here?
Well, then we'll say, why me? It's like, out of all the 8 billion characters that you can choose, why you choose me? That's number one. It's like, man, this
Maybe
is so weird.
you are a disciple of a perfect living master.
All right, then all I can say, okay, alien being, here's YouTube. Sign up for YouTube and Google this guy called Ishwar Puriji, and then come back to me after you've watched all his videos, which you can watch in maybe a second, right? So, yeah. But jokes aside, I think aliens do exist because it's very hard for me to comprehend that we are the only civilization in this whole creation, which is so expensive in nature. It's like so huge, right? But the thing is, we should ask, why are they here, right? And yeah, I think like what Nay mentioned, I think we are too barbaric in nature as a species. So I think till the point where we come in and where everyone is one with each other, there's more oneness than separation, then I think the aliens will not make any appearance soon, unless we are about to destroy ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally believe that this Earth planet, like you said, right, contain 50% happiness and 50% suffering. So this is the best ingredient to have true seekers here on this planet. So therefore, I believe that this planet built in for the purpose to be a spiritual school for all souls to come here, because this is a perfect playground, right? For the soul to come and play and seek God, right? Seek to know God here. So I feel that if there is a galactic federation who try to protect the well-being of all the planets that have being on it, right? They would protect this because here is a spiritual school, very important school, that here also have the best teacher in this whole universe here, because there always be a perfect living master at a time, right? If there are one person seeking the truth, the true self as the soul, and want to go back home to our true home, there will always be holy visitor or a perfect living master on this planet. And by that, I feel that if those aliens, our galactic brother and sister, want to protect us, is because of this. Because also in the, let's say, next incarnation, they can enroll as a student here in the spiritual school.
Yeah.
So that's my observation.
Yeah, and if we blow up this school, right, due to greed, right, or whatever ulterior motives that one might have, then the universe has to create another Earth and start from scratch. So that will be a bit too costly in time and space. Therefore, it's better to preserve the school and just eliminate the bad boys, the naughty kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the earthquake happenings, is that part of the
collective
50-50?
collective
Yeah, the
karma, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I want to ask this question. So you see, we have natural disasters on Earth, right? From a emotional perspective, we can say, or I mean, some people have this opinion that, oh, God is cruel. Why, if God is like ever so merciful, why did he create this suffering and annihilate, like, a lot of like kids, women, and elderly in that earthquake, right? Or even in the tsunami, for example, right? This is purely from human perspective, this way of thinking, right? But if you see from a higher perspective, this is the most, okay, whatever I'm going to say might sound very cold and might sound very like, like very hard, right? But from a universe creator point of view, this is the most efficient way to end the sufferings of all these people and put a reset to their characters, and then make them have a new life, reincarnate themselves in better circumstances. This is the best reset for a group of souls. So you do this collectively, from a collective perspective. Let's say in a tsunami where, I don't know, 500,000 people die, right? That's 500,000 souls either getting liberated and gonna be born in better circumstances, because this is not their doing. This is Mother Nature taking away their life, right? So it's just one wipe, and millions of souls go, and you have the opportunity to sow new seeds for creation, and they will come in better circumstances. This is why I feel, from this perspective, right? But from the perspective of the person losing a loved one in this disaster, then it's obviously, from a human perspective, it's kind of sad and cruel, right? But like I say, if you have a drop mindset, then this is what you'll feel. But from an ocean mindset, where it's very objective reality, that in order for us to start something, we have to dissolute something. This is how the collective actually works. It has happened time and time again. Planets have been destroyed, solar systems have been destroyed by this method, of dissolution. So yeah, that's how I see things.
We have to look into the spiritual evolution of this universe as well. We just currently come out of the dark age, the Kali Yuga, right? And now we enter the Bronze Age, which is gonna lead into Golden Age, Golden Era of spirituality in the future time. So within this transition time, it's natural that a lot of change due to happen, and sometimes it can be this change where this energy come in, create, let's say, tsunami, let's say earthquake, just right now, to just reprogram, to bring better and positive energy in, and get rid of the dark energy out of the system. I heard in one of Supreme Master Ching Hai talk, she said that there is agreement between master, or spiritual teacher, saying that all the souls who die in disaster like this, they will have chance for liberation in the future time, because they innocent. Because of this process of transition from dark to light. So things like this happening. So all of those souls are innocent. So therefore, they've been put on the list to be safe. You can say they be put on the list B of spirituality, to be marked, to get initiation to a future master that's gonna appear on this planet. So if you look at that way, you will not feel sad, you would not feel shaken to see this event happening in the world. Okay, we have to look at everything from a higher and higher perspective. Then we can understand what is happening. Okay, on our human self, what we can do? We now, just like the light in the world, because we already get initiation and connection, inner connection with our master, we can meditate and spread the blessing, master blessing in the world. So more and more, they will feel better. Even the one who lose their family or loved ones in this earthquake will also feel better. We can do like that as well without they know that we are helping. Because if they know that we are helping and we know that we help them, that still will be the element of conditioned seva, conditioned service, not unconditional service. Okay? So by doing that every day, if you can find a corner in your room, in your house, meditate. After meditation, maybe 1 minute after meditation, you say to Master, Master, let's spread the blessing and your love together throughout this planet, throughout this creation. Okay? If like that, more and more every day, there will be a spiritual upliftment here on this planet. The collective consciousness will raise up little by little by or the spiritual people put a little bit effort on spreading love and master blessing.
Thank you. That was very, very helpful.
I just want to so on that note, right? Let's say if everybody have an idealistic view of what God should do, right? And say, okay, you know what? If God is very compassionate, no one in the world should die, right? Let's put that view up front. So then you will be not feel this earth will not be filled with 8 billion people. It will be filled with maybe 800 billion people, right? Some of them are all barely able to walk, maybe of age, I don't know, like maybe 20,000 years. How old are you? 20,000 years old, right? So if the nature of there is no dissolution ever, right? It's gonna be a miserable place, man. You're gonna live with people that have zero capability to contribute to society. They are practically just rotting on the floor, right? And that there is no new change that can come in, because we are always left with the baggage of the old, the ones that have been obsoleted, right? So it's kind of, if you look at it from that point of view, it's kind of like, why are we living in a mess, right? So I think nature has it in such a way where it's perfectly crafted in a cycle where, somebody has to go in order for somebody has to come in. So it's just how the nature of life. So I guess if we truly understand that, then we can truly understand like the people that lost their lives during natural disasters or wars, right? They, like what Nay mentioned, is to eradicate that negativity in that region in order for a new positivity to be injected in. So it's effectively creating a cause first, and then the effects can come later, because you give a reason for something to happen later on, as in you sow a reason. Unfortunately, this reason would mean people losing their lives, but then again, new people have to be born on. So it's how we see things. I think it's a matter of perspective. It's not like right or wrong, heartless or not heartless, right? It's a matter of perspective.
Because I feel there's a lacking of a sense in the area where a lot of disaster happening. Because Supreme Master Ching Hai mentioned some years ago, she said, if a country have 10 saints, meaning the people who have awareness of 3rd level, 4th level, or 5th level of awareness, okay? So those country will be ever peaceful. There will be no wars, there will be less corruption, and there will be more and more happiness. So that's what our master do. Our master spread teaching all over the world in hope that one day somebody gonna wake up from this illusion and be like hands and legs of God who create peace on this planet. Okay? Let's say if in your country, right, you want to change a system, you want to have a peaceful life, let's become the saints. Start from you first. Start from individual first. Then, if in your community there are enough saints, enough enlightened being, then the country will naturally be peaceful. There will be no war, less crime, less suffering. It's really true. Why? Because since I come back to Thailand, I meditate every day with my mother, with my uncle, with my friends in this community. We create a meditation room and we meditate together every day without fail. We notice that in our community, there's more and more peace, okay? And there's no loud music. Suddenly, everything just become more beautiful. All the trees look more peaceful and they grow more and more. And the thing that they used to do to create like a hectic atmosphere, right, all go away. And I feel like, oh, maybe this is how we change the world with meditation. We have to look, when we see things outside ourselves happening like this, it means that, okay, we have to put more effort to create peace and happiness where we are. So I think basically it's like that. Start from ourselves first, because we cannot underestimate the power of love. The power of love can move mountains and dry the sea. Okay, we can do anything with this power of love. And from this love, from this unconditional love, time and time again, Master or Holy Visitor came down from the top of creation down to this bottom of creation to suffer, to be among us because of this love and pull us up. We have to be the same. We have to be the one who pull people up in our community. This is very important. And let's debate on, okay, let's change the world, let's make new policy to change this, change that. No, we have to change ourselves first as a human being.
Yeah, like be the change that you want to see. Be that change. Then everything else will change. Because, okay, speaking on change, right? I feel some of us go into the extreme where we go into everybody needs to change mode, right? So everybody be vegan, and I try to spread veganism to my whole neighborhood, and then it end up everybody started hating me, right? It's like, well, what did I do wrong? I tried to promote good, but the way that you are doing is more of like you create separation. Like, you guys are meat eater, I'm a vegan, therefore I need to make you guys on my side, right? So this is a separation technique. Whereas if you create oneness technique, you will empathize why they are eating like whatever, like meat or whatever dietary, and you change yourself, you be the example. Naturally they'll be like, man, you look like fitter than us, we are like sick almost every week, what's your secret? And I see that your diet is this, so tell me more about this, right? So that's how the change happens. It happens from you and through you subconsciously, through your maybe your resonance, you motivated other people to actually make the change. It's very subtle but very effective than going on a preaching mode and trying to convert people, right? Because you created a separation mode. You didn't do an act of oneness. You are emphasizing on separation. That to me is it's something I learned. Like I try not to convert people, I just try to like empathize with them and just be the best version of yourself. Then people were like, oh, hey, what's your secret, you know? Yeah.
It's the same as being a parent. You know, parenting is like that. You don't have to teach your children much. You just be the example, and they're watching you from birth on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, very good point. Like being parents, we always say, okay, like, you know, when this kid is like, you know, 6 months old, you're like, okay, I have plans for you, you know. When you are this age, I want you to do this. And then when you're this age, I want you to study this subject. And I want you to be a good, like, for example, guitarist, right? And then your child says, no, I'm not going to play the guitar. I'm just going to play the piano, right? And then you'll be like, what happened? And then you start blaming yourself. You start preaching. So this is where it goes downhill very fast. So I think it's like, it goes both ways, right? You have to empathize with the person, why he made that choice, and try to support in whatever reason possible, right? Even though the person might be like, you know, like stuffing himself with junk food, for example. So you try to say, you know what, you know, you could have made a better choice, like, you know, try eating vegetarian or some greenery once a week, you know, try small baby steps, and you show yourself, you be that example, and then these people will change. But if they don't want to change, let's say if somebody that you invested heavily still wants to continue eating the junk food or whatever bad habits, right? In my experience, just let it be, because then it's not on you. You are not supposed to change this person. Life is supposed to change this person. This person will go through his own learning journey through whatever ways that Master has planned out, right? Sickness, disease, suffering, pain. These are all tools to actually make one learn. When you don't,
Yes.
you know, when you don't take the sweet, you take the bitter sweet. The bitter pill.
Yes, that makes sense. I'm just wondering, when people, you know, come to you and they learn from you how to live healthy, but what do you tell them if they have spiritual questions? You know, before, when Ishwa was alive, we could send them to Ishwa and watch his videos, but now what would you suggest? Sometimes I'm wondering about that. And even when he was alive, I sent people to him, but then they were not ready, you know, for initiation or the path. But if they have questions now, what would be like a practical advice to tell people? Just to meditate on, go to the Wisdom Eye Center and meditate?
No.
Or-
I think okay. This is also like mirroring my experience, because when people ask me stuff, right? Okay, back then when I first heard about Ishwaji and I first, like, you know, got initiated, I feel very, like, you know, hyped up, and you know, you want to be on this Ishwaji camp, right? Holding the flag of Ishwaji and, you know, going around trying to convert half of the world, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, you know. People were just like, oh yes, this is an old man, 90-year-old talking. I like, he's just a grandfather. I didn't gain anything. There's no pool. So I come to realize that it's actually not up to you to actually do anything. You know, you can try your best, but if this person is just not meant to be, it's not meant to be. No matter if you introduce him to like the best professor of spirituality out there in current day, right? If he doesn't resonate, he doesn't resonate. Maybe what this guy will resonate is of a lower teaching, like, you know, dress confidently, wear smart outfit, and, you know, project yourself, be authoritative. They'll be like, this is more relevant to my current situation right now, rather than going into deep and finding the anatomy of consciousness. And this might be a subject too deep for them to understand. It will just fly over their head. So I guess what works for you might not work for somebody else, and you just have to find what actually this guy is asking you, from a level of I want to know, or from a level of I'm just curious, you know. So there's many levels of seekers, and I don't know, I think people can just find spirituality online, right? It's like you can just follow any mindfulness guru out there, and if you're not satisfied, go more, you know, find more. And if you're not satisfied with that, then go to the next teacher. If you're not satisfied with that, go on to the next one. So I don't know. I would just ask people to Google Ishwaji, and then if they come back and say they learn nothing, I'm like, okay, fine, then go ask Chat GPT or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
For me, right, there also a lot of people from different walk of life, come to me and ask spiritual question. For me, right, because I born as a Thai person, in the Thai person mentality, we always feel that we should be assistants of the society, because it's all about, how we give the best service to others, and make use of our existence here to serve. Okay. So me, I'm always learn a lot, different subject, different kind of spirituality. I always like, okay, take a look, and learn, relearn, unlearn in this process, because I feel that one day this will come into good use for the people who come to me and ask spiritual question. So what happened is that when they come and ask me spiritual question, I already know what level they are at, because I can imagine myself go down to that level and look at the current situation that they are on that kind of learning. So I give them a hint, a little bit about the next step, and also talk to them that I understand them from their background, because I have been there and done all that, right? For me, it's like that. I'm not gonna give the full discord, all the, spiritual knowledge from 1 to 100 to that person, because a lot of time it can overwhelm them, and they just like, okay, this is not for me, this is too heavy, I cannot do this. Because a lot of time, we can make somebody feel uncomfortable about spirituality too, right? Because let's say, okay, about veganism, right? If we go out there and try to promote this veganism in a meat eater country, we will have to fight with everyone and say that they are sinners, right? And we have to convert them into veganism. So it's the same. So you can suggest them to take a small step. Okay, let them understand that, okay, animal have soul too, and they are just like us. They also have family, they also have feeling. So therefore, it's not advisely to live on another people body, right? Because they also feel suffer at the time of death, and we take their meat to eat, right? So if we start from that, small step for them to raise the awareness, maybe for the first time, to see that, then slowly, like plant the seed, right? Then and if that person water the seed every day, and this seed of truth, right, in the fertile ground, can grow to a big tree in the future. So just like Takin said, be the change in the world that you want to see, and suggest people when they come to you the next step they should take. But know full well that you know all the full step, but don't tell them all of that, because nobody ready to know everything. They only need to do the next step, the next thing that they need to do. Okay? And don't be impatient. Always be patient, because Nothing is in our hand anyway. Okay? Everything controlled by God, including that person that come to ask you spiritual question, that also God sending them your way. You need to react to that circumstance, okay? Respond to that, and give them solution. That's all.
I also think that let's say for every guy or girl that comes to you and asks you a spiritual question, sometimes I feel it's a test. The master put this person in front and see how I will react. Okay, then to me it's like, okay, am I going to like respond from an ego perspective? Maybe I talk too much. I'm just going to like give, but then your mind starts going on overdrive mode, right? Especially for a person like me, I like to think a lot of steps ahead. It's like, okay, if I don't give this guy a full comprehensive answer, then I might just be not helping him fully 100%. But then again, if I am over helping this guy, I'm exercising my own ego, and then master is just trying to test me like, aha, you have exercised your ego, and then now you shall be like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say punish, but I'll free some of your stuff, like grace, for example. So I mean, we start going on this mode, right? And what I notice when I go through all this exercise is that the mind is the sole power behind every reaction. But if I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to help this person because of love, because I can see myself in this person, then most of the time the effect of whatever I try to help this person will be kind of like positive, and this guy will just come back and say, you know what, whatever you told me just now, I really thought about it, and it's really quite true. I tested it out many times, from ego perspective, like from very overpowering to just like, you know what, I think you really need some help, and these are the pointers that will help you. And I invest a lot of my time in trying to like, help this person, and it's the change comes from knowing that you have made a positive impact and you feel good about it. That's where you know that, oh, okay, maybe it's like, it's not ego after all, it's meant to be. That's it for today's episode. If you'd like to listen to more content like this one, please follow and like our channel. Links can be found in the description. See you next time, and thank you for listening.